Good morning, boys and girls. I hope that you're having a great day so far. It's kind of a dreary day out today. When I walked to Coco, it was pretty rainy and chilly outside. But we're going to have a good day anyway. So, today's video covers packet number 2, day 3. So, just as a quick review, the things that you can be doing every day are reading a book of your choice and sharing what you've learned or what happened in the story with a member of your family or writing it down. And then for math, pick a math game from either packet 1 or packet 2 to play with someone. And of course, we always have Dreambox. So let's get started for today's day of the packet. I said that was day 3. So if we look at day 3, it says for reading, read the nonfiction passage, Green Sea Turtles. Now think about what nonfiction means. We said in class that if it's a nonfiction book, it's giving us information, it's telling us facts, true things, and it's teaching us something. Fiction books are the ones where the author creates characters, a setting, problem, solution, beginning, middle, and end. That's not the kind of book we're reading today. Today is nonfiction, so we're going to be learning something from what we read. So it's called Green Sea Turtles, and this is what it looks like in your packet. So I'm going to read it to you once, and then we'll talk about what the packet is asking you to do with this. Green sea turtles. Green sea turtles are neat animals. They have brown shells. Their skin is green. That is how they got their name. Sea turtles are different than land turtles. They cannot put their heads in their shells. Green sea turtles are large. Some weigh up to 700 pounds. They eat seagrass. Green sea turtles love being warm. They like warm water. Sometimes they soak up the sun on land. Female green sea turtles do something amazing. They go back to the same beaches where they were born to lay eggs. First, they dig big holes in the sand. Then they lay eggs in the nests. Mother sea turtles lay up to 200 eggs in one nest. The baby sea turtles hatch from the eggs. The babies walk through the sand to the ocean. They use teamwork to find the water. Boats can harm green sea turtles. Trash can hurt them too. People make rules to keep these neat animals safe. And if I look at the passage, there's one word right here that is bold. So if I want to look at my glossary, I can figure out what that word means, and that's the word hatch. So I'm going to look at the glossary, and it tells me that hatch means how a baby animal cracks open its egg. So if I read that sentence again, the baby sea turtles hatch from their eggs. So that's when they break out of their eggs and come out. So the packet says you need to read the nonfiction passage, Green Sea Turtles. Read it to yourself 2 times, then read it to a stuffed animal or family member. So now you need to read this 2 times to yourself and then read it once to a family member or a stuffed animal. Then we're going to go to the writing part for today. The writing part for today says, complete the circle map with facts you learned about green sea turtles. Write the topic in the center of the circle. Add your facts about sea turtles to the outer circle. So your circle map is the very next page of the packet, and it looks like this. You can always draw this on a blank piece of paper, though. So it's a smaller circle with a bigger circle outside of it. So what it asks you to do, it says, write the topic in the center of the circle. So your paper looks like this. Write the topic in the center circle. What is the topic of what we read? What was it all about? What was it teaching us all about? Say it to yourself. What was this all about? The passage that I just read to you. We should be thinking the topic is what the whole thing is about. So the topic for this one was green sea turtles. That should be in the center because that's what the whole thing was about. That was the topic. Then it says, add your facts about sea turtles to the outer circle. So in this space here, the big circle, what I want you to do is I want you to write down the facts that you learned about green sea turtles in the bigger circle. Remember, facts are true things, the information that we learned from the story. True things about sea turtles. So in the big circle, what you're doing is writing some facts that you learned about green sea turtles from the passage that we read. Okay, so that's our reading and our writing for today. Next up is math. And our math section is always going to start with the same thing. It says, write the name of the game you chose. So you should have picked a game from either the end of packet 1 or the end of packet 2 to play with someone. Whichever one you pick, go ahead and write the name of that game on the line in your packet. So that can be from packet 1 or packet 2, whichever one you choose. Next part, we've got another word problem for today. So it says, solve the following problem on paper and explain your thinking with pictures, numbers, and words. So just like we have been the past couple of days, we're going to do a word problem together up here. Then you are going to do the one in the packet by yourself. So the one that we are going to do together, I'm going to write up on the board now. Okay. So the problem that we're doing together says, Mrs. Savage saw lots of animals at the pet store. She saw 10 different animals. 2 of them were dogs. How many were not dogs? So we're going to start this just the same way that we had started our other problems for this week. We need to think about what information we know and what the information is that we need to know. So let's break it down sentence by sentence. Mrs. Savage saw lots of animals at the pet store. That doesn't really give me a lot of information that I need to solve this problem, so I'm going to kind of move on to the next sentence. She saw 10 different animals. Okay, so that's how many I had in all. 2 of them were dogs. How many were not dogs? So what I want to do is I want to take the dogs out of the count because I don't want to know how many were dogs. I know that. It's 2. I want to know, the information that I want to know is how many were not dogs. So if I want to take the dogs away, take away, am I doing addition or subtraction? Go ahead and say it out loud or think it in your brain. If I'm taking away the dogs, is that addition or subtraction? When you hear the words take away, you should be thinking that's subtraction. So we've got our subtraction sign. You could also do this with a 10 frame like we did yesterday. How many pets did I see in all? She saw 10 different animals. So I'm starting out with 10. And what am I taking away? I told you that we're taking away the number of dogs that I saw. So we are starting out with a full 10 frame. So that means that I'm starting out with 10, because that's how many I saw in all. And I'm taking away the number of dogs. So how many dogs did I see? We're taking that number away. And what am I left with? I've got a full top row. We know half of a 10 frame would be 5. And then if I count on 6, 7, 8. 10 minus 2 is 8. Let's see if we solved this correctly. Let's double check our work. Mrs. Savage saw lots of animals at the pet store. She saw 10 different animals. So that's how many we had in all. 2 of them were dogs. How many were not dogs? So we don't want to know how many were dogs. We want to know how many were not. So we're taking the number of dogs away. So we started out seeing 10 different pets. We're taking away the number of dogs that we saw. So that means that 8 of the pets that I saw at the pet store were not dogs. So what I would write is 8 were not dogs. And that's how we solve that problem together. Now, let's talk about the problem that you are going to solve by yourself. The problem that you're going to solve by yourself says, okay, so the problem that's in your packet that you are solving by yourself says, Jaden heard many sounds on his way home from the store. He heard 13 different sounds. 4 of them came from cars. How many were not car sounds? So, this is similar to the problem that we did together because we know that he heard 13 different sounds. 4 of them came from cars. But what we want to know is how many of the sounds did not come from cars. So because there's 13 sounds that he heard, if you need to draw 2 10 frames, you can. But think about what we did before. 13 different sounds, 4 of them were cars, but we want to know how many of those sounds were not from cars. So you need to solve that problem on your own on a piece of paper. And then our last section for math today says Dreambox. Give the name of the games you played. So if you played Dreambox today, make sure that you just write down the names of those games that you played. For science today, it says, using some paper, draw and label each part of the plant. Save this project because you will need it on day 5. So you are going to draw a picture of a plant. And your job is to label all of the parts. So I'm not going to do that with you because that's your job for today. The parts that I want you to label, I want you to label the roots, the stem, leaves, and the flower. Those are the parts that you need to label. So you're going to draw a picture of a flower and label the roots, stem, leaves, and flower. Label means you're going to, like I have the past couple of days, write the word next to that part of the plant. So for roots, you're going to write the word roots next to where the roots are on the plant. Same for stem, leaves, and the flower. It says if you don't want to draw the plant and label it, you can be creative with other materials to create your plant. Explain to someone what each part of the plant does. So that would mean maybe if you have popsicle sticks, pipe cleaner, tissue paper, you could try and create a plant that way, but you still need to label the parts. Even if you choose to create the plant rather than draw it, you still need to label the parts. And I'd like you to, for whether you draw it or use other creative materials to make it, you need to label the plant, and I want you to tell someone, explain to someone what each part of the plant does. So you need to explain what the roots, the stem, the leaves, and the flower do after you label them. So that is all we've got for Packet 2, Day 3. If you have any questions, please reach out. I love that some of you have been commenting on the videos. I love that they're helpful to you, and please know that I miss you very much. Mr. Overton misses you very much, and I'm so happy that I get to make these videos so that it can kind of be like we're learning at school again, even though we're not at school. So I hope that you guys have a great day, and let me know if you need anything at all. I'm here for you. So I'll see you tomorrow.